So let's say we have talked about multi-dimensional array, right? Now in multi-dimensional array, of course, you specify the number of rows you want. So if you look at the code here, we have specified what are the rows we have. And in each big array, we have an array, small array, which is of size 4, right? And then we were assuming that every row or every array inside the array will have the same size. Example, if you look at these 3 arrays here, they have the same size. But what's the guarantee that they will be having the same size? What if you have an array here which is of size 3, here you have a size 4, here you have a size 2. Can we do that? Can we have the internal arrays or the columns basically having less values? It is possible. So what I'm saying is this 4 is not fixed. We can simply say, hey, I don't know the number of columns I have. Yes, we can do that. So the internal array or the inside array can have different size of elements. Now this type of array is called a jagged array. So before this, we talked about normal or regular arrays where you have to specify the size. At this point, we are not doing that. See, we have to at least specify how many arrays we have, but internally, those rows, we don't have to specify how many columns we have. That we can manage. But how? How we are going to manage? So what we can do is, once you specify that I'm not sure about the number of columns here, which is jagged array, then we have to individually specify how many columns you have. What I'm saying is, you have to say index of 0 is equal to, for the first array, you have to specify how many values you have. So you have to say new int 3. So that's the first thing we have. And then likewise, we can specify the other values. I can say copy, paste, and paste. For the first index, I have the size, let's say 4. For the second index, I have a lesser size 2. So that's how we to manage this one. Now this is your jagged array. Okay, I mean this one. This is your jagged array, not a normal array. Because individually for every column, we are specifying what's the size of it. Now, if you try to imagine this in a new structure, let me draw it here. So you got a box. This is the outer thing. And in this you have 3 rows. And each row will have a box. Now the first box will be of size 3. The second box will be of size 4. And the third box will be of size 2. Okay, so we have different size of array in different location. So for 0th index, we have 3. For the first index, we have 4. For the second index, we have 2. That's what we have done here. Okay, now once we specify that, the thing is, how will you save the value inside this? Now the problem is, the number of rows are fixed, but I don't even want to mention the number here. The way you can solve that problem is by saying nums of, or maybe you can say nums.length. This will show you the number of rows you have, but for every row, okay, in fact, you know what we should do? We should save that value somewhere. Or maybe we can say this, nums of I, for every row, I want to know the size. So now basically we are specifying the size of each array. So for the first array, I have 3 values. For the second array, I have 4 values. So for every row, what's the length we have here? That's what we are specifying. And now, while printing as well, instead of using normal for loop, let's use enhanced for loop. And the beauty about enhanced for loop is you don't have to mention the size anywhere. It will automatically detect where the values are. Okay, so if I try to compile this code and run, you can see this is the values you have. The first row we got 3, second row we got 4, and the third row we got 2. Okay, now this is the jagged arrays. So once we know about jagged arrays, let's go back to normal array. What we can also do is, we can skip this part now. Can we create 3-dimensional array? We can. Every time you want to increase the dimension, you just have to specify extra square bracket and extra loops for every square bracket. So now you can imagine if I want to draw this, I don't know how do we draw this, but let's try. So we have the outer box in which you specify how many rows you have. We have 3 rows, 0, 1, 2. In this you have an array of size 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And in each box you have one more array here which is of size 5. Okay, let me just do that in a small, let me expand this. And in this we have one more array of size 5. Okay, this is index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I want to fetch this value here, which has value, let's say 6, If you want to fetch this 6, you have to say 0, 0, 2, right? And of course, in every box here, we'll be having the same thing. We have the box here, which has 4 elements, and each box will be having multiple arrays. Yeah. So we have array here as well. And if I want to fetch, let's say the third element here, we have to say 1, 1, 3. Okay, that's how you fetch it. So the more array you create, it will create a box internally to it. So that's how the array works. Now this is not jagged anymore. This is 3-dimensional array. So I hope this makes sense. We have talked about jagged arrays and 3-dimensional array in one video.